Hi guys, it's Grayson here. I know some of you have been waiting me to talk about this topic for quite some time now. So today let's talk about oil and gold.
It's long history when you change your mind about me.
So as usual, before we invest in anything or any assets, we have to know what exactly are we investing in. So in this case, oil. So what is oil? I'm not talking about cooking oil or painting oil, obviously. I'm talking about crude oil. So what is crude oil? Crude oil is a unrefined petroleum, and after the refining, it can be produced many usable products such as gasoline, diesels, petroleums, and various of many others petrochemicals. And the most common crude oil we have in the markets right now is WTI, West Texas Intermediate, and Brent oil. So what are the difference between WTI and Brent? In terms of quality, not so much difference, but in terms of where they produce, WTI obviously produced in West Texas, and Brent produced in the North Sea, which is near the Norwegian's territory.
So the first reason why I think we should invest in oil right now is because oil investment will offer high ROI potential. Because of the current low price, it could be a very welcoming indicator for new investors to the oil market. Oil is trading at $24 per barrel, and last year it was trading at $60 per barrel. And at the highest point, a barrel of crude oil is trading at $160. So it is a very attractive price right now to enter the market. As much as I hate to predict the market, although I think it's kind of late to enter the oil market right now, because of the recent very frequent trading of the market, it doesn't mean that it does not have more space for future profits. It definitely does. So the reason number two why I think oil investments is very attractive right now is because of the supply and demand relationships on the market. You have to understand the reason big drop of the oil price is caused by the low demand of the petroleums and other crude oil products caused by the COVID-19 coronavirus outbreak. Because of all flights stop flying, all ships stops working, and all cars doesn't move as much as it used to, the demand for petroleums and other crude oil products drop dramatically. But the supplies doesn't stop. In fact, it remained the same. So in results, the storage or inventories for petroleum and crude oil product got too much. They have to force to lower their price in order just to let go their products. And the reason number three why we should invest in oil is simply oil is a asset class with a low stock, bond, and precious metal colorations. It means when the price of stocks, bonds, or precious metal plunge or drop, it doesn't mean that the price of the oil will drop or plunge as well. So oil investments could protect your portfolio against short-term market fluctuations.
So moving on, let's talk about gold. Everyone know about gold, right? But answer me this question. We use metal for industrial usage, we use oil for petroleum, and we use water for livings and energy, right? But what does gold do? That's right. Other than some basic electronical gadgets, we don't see the actual usage of gold in the economic systems. But why are still gold so precious anyway? Let me tell you why.
Reason number one, because gold has a long history of storing and monetary value. Since the discovery of gold thousands of years ago, it has been a coveted commodity and store of value. In fact, we can track back to 500 to 700 BC. It has been widely used as a medium of transactions in both Egypt and Roman civilization. Although today global monetary system no longer backed by gold, but it remains highly valued, especially during economic downturns and when many other assets like stocks and real estate depreciate. And reason number two is because of the increasing demand for gold. In many countries like China, India, Indonesia, and Malaysia, gold is closely related into their cultures and beliefs. Hence, the demand for gold in this country has going up for decades, in fact for centuries. The demand for gold has also grown among investors globally. Many are beginning to see commodities, especially gold, as an investment that should be allocated in their portfolio. In fact, SPDR Gold Trust, the SPDR ETF, has become one of the largest ETF in the United States. Before we moving forward, I just want to share to you guys real quick a very interesting interview I found a few days ago with Robert Kiyosaki about his point of view for gold.
Let's look at gold now. Last time you were on, it's been about 2 years, and you were telling me how gold for you is real money.
Yes.
I'm guessing that your view hasn't changed much.
No, I started buying gold in 1972, right after I understood what Nixon did in 71 by taking us off the gold standard. And I've been a student of gold, which is why I love Kitco so much. See, gold is not only a real money, it's spiritual money. I remember I was way out in Fiji one time talking to this guru out there, and I said, this guy was dripping with gold. I said, why do you have gold on? And he goes, looks like I was some kind of idiot, you know, he's a very spiritual man. He says, gold are the tears of God. Gold attracts wealth. So he says, if you want, let's say, $1,000 a month income, you hold $1,000 of real gold somewhere near your person, in your house. That's why he was hanging all around him. So it's that real gold attracts, and it has so for thousands of years.
Yet it's not really attracting millennials yet, who seem more drawn to the cryptocurrencies right now. And I want to get your thoughts on that. So how do we get the younger generations interested in gold here?
Well, maybe someday they'll wake up is when they find out what real gold, what real money is. Like my friend James Rickards, you know, his great book is called The Road to Ruin. He talks about how the real long-term wealth people versus new money. New money is into derivatives, which is cryptocurrency and all that, stocks, bonds, mutual funds. Old money has always been in gold, land, and artwork. So it really is, what is your view on wealth? And so for my wife and I, our view is eternal wealth. Like our goal is to donate $100 million a year to charities, long after we're gone. But most people are here today, gone to Maui, as they say.
Right.
You know?
So what do you think of forecasts that are out there that yes, gold will hit 5,000, 10,000 an ounce? What do you think of that?
I don't. That's what Mr. Rickards does, which I agree with him. It's probably 10,000 an ounce. His numbers work. But with me, it's just how much do I want to earn a month? So if I want 10,000 a month, I hold 10,000 in gold. I want $1 million a month, I hold $1 million in gold.
Right.
Gold is an attractor. If people could understand that, so every time my wife and I wanted more money, we would just buy more gold and our income went up.
Do you like silver?
Yeah, I love silver, because silver is an industrial metal. And I recommend silver all the time simply because you can get into it for today at $20 an ounce approximately. Gold, as you know, is around $1,500.
Now, in 2002, you were speaking about the demise of the stock market. You thought 2016 would be the year it happened.
Yeah.
We've seen record highs here. Have you changed your views?
No, it's only a matter of time now.
And reason number 3, why I believe investors should invest in gold or at least have a portion of gold in their portfolio is because the inflation for hedge and currency. The gold has historically been an excellent hedge against inflation because its price tends to rise when cost of living increases. Over the past 50 years, investors have seen gold price soar and the stock market plunge during high inflation years, especially when fiat currency loses its purchasing power. And moreover, gold is seen as a good store of value, so people may be encouraged to buy gold when they believe that their local currency is losing value. And reason number 4 is because of the global situations today, or today's market situation. For example, as I mentioned in the last video, our S&P 500 is in the record high right now. And moreover, we have issues like the trade wars and the national debts in global has been increasing. And reason number 5 is because the central banks around the world is buying gold a lot since the last financial crisis. In fact, since 2010, according to the World Gold Council, Global central banks have been net buyer of gold as they move to diversify their portfolio, with a net purchases of totaling 371 tons as in 2018. Central banks buying gold to store value is a sign that investors too might want to hold some gold in their portfolio.
And the gold investment has become especially attractive in the recent years, because if we look back to the past 15 years record, the gold investment has total go up to a 278% return, which is a 18% per annum return. But if we look at Dow Jones Stock Index, the other side, it only have a 173% total return, which is only a 11% per annum return. So that's why many investors has been exposing themselves to the gold investment, is because in the recent years, the gold investment has become so attractive and it's beating the stock index. So after all the reasons why I think you should invest in oil and gold right now, you must be wondering how you can get yourself exposed to the oil and gold market, and how can you add oil and gold to your investment portfolio. Well, there's hundreds of ways, but first you have to know that you prefer physical asset or virtual asset. Physical asset is asset that you can actually touch and see. For example, like the gold bar here I have from Pam, and some from my local gold broker. You can actually buy that off the store. Or if you prefer virtual assets, you can actually invest in gold ETF, gold futures, or even the gold company that are mining the golds. Same as oil. Oil, they have futures, they have oil stocks as well. So it actually depends on which one do you prefer the most. So that's it for today's video. I will be uploading the Berkshire Hathaway 2020 annual general meeting videos tomorrow. I know a lot of folks are waiting for the video, so stay tuned to the next video and see you guys.